Hey guys, it's RC back with season 2. I'm going to try to record a little differently this year, just to try to condense a little bit more into each video, and then the seasons will be a little bit shorter from a number of videos perspective. Um, Let me know what you guys think about it, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you'd rather me go back to the old way of recording everything. I will certainly take that under advisement. I just wanted to try it because, honestly, I thought a lot of that recruiting was really just wearing thin. And, if you already kind of know how to recruit, then you might not really get anything out of watching all that. So, I mean, hopefully that first season can kind of work as a recruiting tutorial if you need it. But I think now that you probably have that in mind. So, just something to think about. All right. So what I'm going to do is with 12 games, I'm going to break it down into 3 game sections, and that way we'll have 4 videos for the season. All right, we got a free safety. We lost a quarterback, and he did go to Central Florida. Damn, I thought that was the guy that I was going to be able to snag. I don't know why he did that, unless it was a playing time issue. Oh, that's going to hurt. Okay, well, first off, let's look at a couple of things. All right, so one of the things that I was told is this section here, these yardage settings, if you feel there are too many passing yards, too many rushing yards for the league as a whole, for every team, then you dial that back here. You can ramp it up, you can dial it back. This affects every team, okay? So we had changed this at one point last year, you might remember. So that probably glitched that year's stats a little bit, but it was only for a couple of videos, I think, maybe 3 games. It's this section here that evidently will tweak for just for your team. This is your play calling settings, and I've been told this only affects your team. So if we put it at a 1, the higher the number, the more passing occurs. So this, by putting it at a 1, it truly makes us extremely run heavy. All right. So to control the play calling screen, set the base to 1 and set the modifier to 100. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's go to the game plan, and here's your play calling right here. Okay, the playbook and the ratio. Okay, now remember this ratio is a weight. The closer to 0 is a heavy run, but the game itself is tweaked to be predominantly passing to mimic current real life football, and it should be. It should be, but we should have the ability to tweak this, and it looks like we do. So this is where we fine tune our play calling, but it's here in the options. If we set this to 1 and 100, the 1 in the ratio base makes us extremely run centric, and the run pass ratio modifier, setting that to 100, that sets it up to where those settings in our game plan screen get more accurately followed. So when I actually put a 16 for running, I should truly be running 84% of the time out of that formation. Something thereabouts. I don't know if that percentage is exact or precise, but something along those lines. And it is a little backwards looking, but the lower the number, the closer to 0 is run heavy. Okay, so and what I did before the season started, I kept the same playbooks that we had at the very end of last season, and I just dialed these back even more. Okay, like this one was, I think, 99. I dialed it back to 86. This was like 28. I dialed it back to 16. I really wanted to go more run. Okay, so that's what I've done at this point. I've changed this, which should put more weight into this. Okay, so that means what we're doing only for our team should be affected. Now, the AI can still implement that as well, but we don't have any control. I also dialed back the tempo. I've gone with a primary back and playing mostly starters. Okay, so let's take a look at what has transpired here in the first 3 games. We're 3-0, 46-39, 24-19, 44-19. If we look at the first game, we had 29 passes, 45 rushes. Okay, 29, that's 58, so not quite a 2-to-1. We lost a couple of fumbles. We lost the time of possession. And if you take a look, we had a 1-yard run, a long pass, a short pass, a field goal, a pick six, a long pass, and then a long pass. So we ended up with long passes. We were actually losing late in the last 38 seconds, so that stands to reason that we would be throwing deep. And we were behind at the 13:07 mark by 12 points, so it stands to reason that we would be throwing there to try to play catch up. Now, here's some interesting things, and actually are reassuring. Not great results, but reassuring. Fullerton is the quarterback that my AI is going with this year. 21 of 29. He's a solid passer. 348 yards, 4 touchdowns. Check this out. 10 carries by the quarterback. Now, negative 17 yards. Not good, but he did carry the ball 10 times. Newsome is a running back. Smith is a running back. Benoit is a running back. So my fullback did not see any carries. All right, and if we come down and look at our plays, I formation, pro set, shotgun, there's the spread. And we do have some option plays, pitches, two tight end sets with options. And there's the wishbone. Now, the fullback draw, you notice that did not get run in this game. So again, we're using the default playbook, okay? All right. Fullerton, I have decided, is not going to be a running quarterback. So after this game against Eastern Michigan, a team we probably should have destroyed, you can see we had a long, well, first off, we had 11 passes, 46 rushes. We just didn't have much time of possession. So let's take a look. Long pass, short pass, long pass, long pass, field goal. So again, all of our scoring came on touchdown passes. Fullerton actually led the team with 19 carries. Smith, the running back, had 18. Newsome, running back. Benoit, running back. And there's Hinkle. Hinkle's our fullback. He finally got a carry. If we look at our game analytics, 1.4 yards a pass, 2.5 yards a carry. Shotgun, spread. We've got the option plays in there. Coming down into the wishbone, there's our one fullback dive. So last year, we were actually averaging about 5 of those a game. All right, so there's something to look at. And then if we go to the third game, this is where I actually went into my quarterback, and I'll show you what I did. Fullerton, edit. I actually turned off the running quarterback option. Just didn't have the speed, didn't have the agility. Now, I could tweak this to test it, but, I don't know if I want to do that. So, our speed's below what we want for a running quarterback. So's the agility. So I just turned off the running ability. I said, we're going to focus more on the running backs, and that's fine. Then I ran this game 44-19. We scored 20 in the fourth quarter, 22 passes, 60 rushes, controlled the time of possession, field goal, long pass, run, short pass, field goal, intermediate touchdown pass, uh, intermediate pass, run, run. And then if we look at the individual stats, Smith, running back, 22 carries. Fullerton still had 18 carries. You know what? Maybe I didn't. I forget now. I may have turned him off after this game. So I think he was still here. Newsom and Benoit had 2 carries. If we go into the game analysis, if we go down to the Wishbone, for example, we should have a couple of fullback dives, but they did not run that play. So where... All right, there's a quarterback sprint. So even though we don't have it set up to be quarterback heavy, well, I think we did here, but you can still put in quarterback runs. Okay, now you just may not want to do as many with that type of quarterback. Okay. Also, I want to go in and look at recruiting and just hit a couple of high points with you. First off, I want to look at all of my targets that are quarterbacks. So this is hidden and otherwise. What I did in week 1, I did not put any recruiting points on any quarterback, which you saw I just lost a quarterback that I had hoped that I would land. In fact, let's take a look at him first. He came up as a dual threat. We had a high interest, but only after the first week because we didn't put any points. Now, playing time, that probably killed us because remember we just signed 2 5-star quarterbacks last season. Security, loyalty, they were on him in week 1. I did not put points until week 2. So that hurt me. Okay, so that's disappointing. But here's what I did. I went into here and I looked at all the quarterbacks, only quarterbacks. And I went right down the height weight and I was looking for anybody 6 feet and under, maybe 6'1 or 6'2. I was also looking at weight. 200 was kind of my line of demarcation. 201, if they were shorter, I would go that way. You know, so this guy too tall. I might do him. And basically I was looking. So if we look at my targets, we can look at their heights and weights. 6'1", 190, 6'1", 196. There's 6'2", but 198, 6'1", 191. Okay, so there was no guarantee that this happened. Now, I ended up with 14 quarterbacks that I did interviews on. Why did we do the interviews? I wanted the special to pop on anybody that had one. Now, out of 14 guys, Yoder and Davis were dual threats. So I immediately offered those 2 guys scholarships, put 10 points on them, had high interest, but again, we just looked at him. Now, let's take a look at Yoder. All right. Now, Penn State's on him. Why did he lose points? Okay, I don't know why that happened. Now, Penn State has a... Oh, that must have been when I just scrolled up and down and it took his points off. So he had 10 points. So that's from last week. And I don't know why he didn't have a scholarship. I may have pulled his scholarship because I was looking at only wanting the one guy, and the other guy is the one I really wanted. But if we look, he's got remarkable speed, but only fine agility. That's why I came off of this guy. Now, winning, security, close to home doesn't matter. So just because he's in Pennsylvania with Penn State doesn't mean anything. He likes market size. He likes winning. So is Penn State up here? Don't see him. So maybe winning throws this guy into my category. The other guy, of course, I think it was due to loyalty, security from being on him, not being on him in week one, and also playing time, which he knew he wouldn't play. Although he might be the quarterback that I would play, but he's looking at it from the sheer perspective that he's got 5 quarterbacks, 2 of them are redshirt freshmen. I'm not going to be able to play there ever. You know, they'll be redshirt freshmen when I come in, and I'll never play. So that's why he went elsewhere. I wouldn't know that until I did the scouting, but I wanted to do the interviewing first. Now, doing it this way, I was still able to use all of my recruiting points to go in and recruit all of my other positions here. But you can also see, if I look at my hidden guys, I've already got a large number of hidden people because their interest levels fell off after that first week. So that is what happened there. So I think my game plan for now is I've got enough to recruit one more player. I want to tweak a few other things, and I think what I'm going to do is do the next 3 games, which will be through week 7. I'm going to go back into my game plan, and I'm going to put in my Wishbone package. Now that has a lot of passing in it, right? So let's just go ahead and do all of those to my Wishbone. And then we've got it dialed in to follow my game planning. And this has my plays in it, which include a lot of the fullback dives and whatnot. Now what we don't have in there is the spread option. So I might want to go back in there and add some plays from the spread attack as well as the Wishbone. But I'm not going to do that right now. Again, I'm just taking kind of like baby steps here in trying to evaluate this. So I'm going to keep the lower numbers that I put in, but I'm going to put in my specialized Wishbone package. So we're going to do that. And I think that's what we're going to plan here for the next 3 games or 4 weeks, is to go that route. So when I come back in the next video, we'll probably be to the end of week 7. We'll be able to analyze 3 more weeks with a little bit of a change. So still going with the same options here, just the different playbook that's a little more specialized to the Wishbone. The other thing I might do is I might change out my quarterback. I don't think anybody else was as good, but my fastest guy is Muller. Donovan Johnson's right behind him. I think I'm going to go ahead and put, just in that Wishbone package, I'm going to move Johnson up because he's right now listed as my number 2 guy, right? So we're going to save that. And then I want to make sure he is targeted to be a running quarterback. And I tell you what, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Oh, it won't let me. Okay. There's got to be a way to go in there and do that, but I'm not going to worry about it then. So I guess you can open that up somewhere else. Interesting. Okay. 6'5", 216. Wow. Is that really a guy we want running the ball? All right, so we're going to put him in at quarterback because he has the second best speed on the team, second best agility on the team, but I think he's a little bit better passer than Muller. I wasn't really impressed with Muller. He's not horrible, but he I don't think he's as good as Johnson here. Johnson is a better passer. Muller is still looking like the better runner, but not by a drastic amount. So I want the better of the two on the field. I'm going to give him some carries, and then we'll see what happens. So look for that in the next video. We'll have 3 more games to look at and evaluate, and then decide where we're going to go from there. Thanks for checking this one out. Also, these might actually be a little shorter since we're going to be doing them in chunks. And you don't have to sit through all the monotony of recruiting. So again, chime in on that. That probably will not take place till next season, but if you want to see the detailed recruiting come back, certainly let me know and in the comments below, and we'll look into doing that. But right now, I kind of like this. We've already done the kind of detailed stuff, and so now we can kind of get more into some analysis of the games and whatnot. So thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next time. Take care.